Hey everyone, my name is Ksenia, and today here with me my guest is wrestler, comedian, the person who produced one of the most life-changing movies about wrestling in recent history, Ryan Nemeth.
Hey everybody. Wow, that was a great introduction. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, it's true. Let's start from the beginning. We're here both obviously for AEW, Double or Nothing, huge event. So maybe if you could tell us a little bit about how your partnership you performed in AEW came along. Were you like actively looking to wrestle with them? Or
Oh, sure. It's a pretty interesting story. I was not really looking to actively wrestle. During the pandemic or shutdown time, all of my wrestling was basically for TV shows or music videos or movies, wrestling on a project as a wrestler or doing stunt coordinating or putting together things, helping other productions have wrestling in their TV show or something. So I was doing a lot of wrestling, just not in front of crowds and not in real matches. And a lot of my best friends work in AEW, and of course they spoke very highly of it since day one. And I knew that Brody Lee's son had a birthday coming up, and Trent and Luchasaurus both told me, you should come in for the birthday. It'd be nice to surprise his mother and him. And so I came down that week just to be part of the birthday celebration.
And now we're here.
Yeah, and he's a good kid. Sometimes I would babysit him back in Tampa. He does not remember that, of course, because he was 3 years old, I think. But while I was here, the company said, Tony especially said, do you want to wrestle while you're here? Since you're in town, you have your gear, do you want to have a match? And I said, okay, sure. And you've heard that wrestlers always bring their gear on them. Yeah. I definitely did that because I did not expect that or assume that, but I knew that it might be possible. So I just wanted to not be unprepared. So then I had the match with Hangman Adam Page on Dynamite, and I guess they liked me after that, so yeah. I don't know what the future holds, but I've been coming here ever since, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I love this company.
Awesome, that's great. I'm not sure if it's an uncomfortable question, and I'm not gonna provoke you to compare anything, but you have worked for different companies in wrestling, right?
Yes.
And how is AEW fundamentally different from others, or is it even?
AEW is, in my opinion, I do have other experience, but it's limited. So I would say my experience in AEW is much happier, free, creative, and it's a motivating environment. People are very nice. I mean,
that's great.
Not that that's the most important part of your job, but when I show up to the shows, I feel that there is a plan for me and what I bring to the table. And I'm very specific and unique. If you've watched things I do, it's not like standard. Yeah. I'm not doing backflips and ninja kicks and stuff. But at other companies, that was kind of like, well, you're just some guy, get in there. But here it's like, who are you? Let's embrace that and just go full into it. And that's what's happening at AEW, and I love that. Yeah,
and talking about who you are and embracing it, your current gimmick, I guess you could say, the Hollywood Hunk. Knowing that you're a comedian, it feels satirical, but what does it represent?
Well, Hunk is such a funny word.
I had to ask.
Hunk was sort of a nickname when I was in NXT that my friends would call me. When we would go to the beach, they would just see me and go, oh, you're a real beach hunk. This is the hunk here, And I thought it was kind of a funny joke. So it was a little bit of an inside joke. But also, I do work in Hollywood. I am a working actor and stuntman and producer of things and writer of things. So it's true. I do work in Hollywood, and I think it really fits into the persona of someone that you don't like, who's kind of
does.
I think there's been different versions of actor, movie star, red carpet guy before, but this one is like a real one, and it just feels so natural, and it's going well.
Yeah, it is. I do want to ask you about speaking out, and you were pretty vocal during this whole movement. And I'm not sure it's a question to ask you, because it's like when a restaurant is short-staffed, people like start yelling at stuff, but they actually showed up, like it's not their fault. But you're here, that's what I'm gonna ask you. Why do you think so many wrestlers were silent? Like, is it just the boys club mentality, or are they scared of anything, or like?
Well, I think it's both of those things and a few other things. The way that I look at it, especially in the independent circuits of wrestling, there's no governing body, there's no one authoritative thing. It's you can do something in one town, and before anyone even hears about it, you're already somewhere else, you're gone. That's part of it. And the other part of it is the standard worldwide historical belief that all women are lying always, So
yeah, I know.
That's a major part of it. And it's something I tackle in the movie Heel, which I felt very strongly about this for a long time.
We're going to talk about it today.
Perfect. Well, it's really upsetting. It sucks. And the victims don't want to speak out about it usually because that means either a giant amount of their peers will then hate them or stop booking them. Their career is over. People will the fans turn on them. If the fans love a certain person and you accuse this person of something maybe they did, suddenly they all hate you and they're sending you hate mail and stop buying your merch or supporting you. It's a very mixed up bad thing that sucks. So sometimes you don't know people's real names, so it's hard to even report. Like it's very complicated. It's both of the issues you just said and a whole lot more.
And a lot of it came down on social media, and maybe also it has to do with like contracted wrestlers that are working for big companies, having different social media reach or presence. And how is it with AEW right now? Do you feel like your social media presence being or independent wrestler or in AEW is different than what it would be elsewhere or what it was before when you were in NXT?
My main difference now working with AEW on social media is that I advertise for AEW shows.
That's not too bad.
That's it. And I've had a lot of discussions about this before, a few months ago, with some of the legal team here at AEW, and I asked, should I be less vocal about these issues? I am kind of a loudmouth online about this stuff just because I care about it so much.
Which is a good thing.
Well, thanks. Some people don't disagree massively. So the guidance I got from them was, this is not a controversial stance. You should speak up about what you believe in, and don't ever feel that you can't because you're also on our shows sometimes. So that was really supportive, I thought.
That's great. So let's just stop torturing you with social media questions and let's go to what's actually interesting for all of us right here, Heel, the movie. Let's talk about it. So maybe for people who don't know, maybe you can give like one sentence, like tagline, brief overview. Like,
yeah, sure.
What is
Heel,
it about?
it's a film that deals with sexual assault in independent wrestling. It's a drama. It's a short film, and I'm so proud of it. And you helped so much. It was a crowd-funded film. We did a 30-day campaign to raise the budget, and you were very vocal about it and helped out and backed it, and I really appreciate it. So if anybody who is your viewer helped out, thank you. And if you didn't, what's the deal? Why not?
What are you doing with your life? Why didn't you? But like, yeah, honestly, it was also like important for me to spread the word and like help as much as I can, because it's really something that I also believe in and that I, try to raise awareness for. So, that made sense to support it. So can you tell us a little bit about how it came about? Like, I know that you did like a poll on Twitter back when you were just getting the idea, where you asked people like, what would you like to see a movie about? Like, what vices of professional wrestling? But let's take it even, further back. Like, how did this idea even come to you?
Sure, I'm very open about this. I personally in real life became aware of some issues in independent wrestling that I did not like that are related to the Speaking Out movement. And I know that there's very limited things I could do as a man who's not directly involved with it. So I can't go online and start saying, here's what I know, here's these stories I've heard, and making accusations secondhand. I can't, because one, I'm open to getting legally, in trouble, and secondly, it's not my story to tell. Thirdly, maybe the victims don't want me to do that. And fourthly, even if they do want to, it just ruins they're in charge of that. It's up to them to decide. So I thought,
and not to interrupt you, but like I actually remember people like trying to like criticize you on the internet why don't you name the names? But it's like literally not your secret to tell. It's not your
it's not my secret to tell, and I have done something like that in the past where I do speak up because a woman has asked me to, and then the minute that it's public, she says, "Never mind, take it down," and then deny it, and I'm like, So then I just look like this fool screaming out lies to the world. Anyways, I thought there is something I can do, which is to write a film or a project, something about this. You know, I thought there's some dramatic way I can make this compelling and interesting to people, and hopefully my goal was to start a conversation about this topic. And I presented it to Maggie Levin, the film director, who read the script and said, "Please let me direct this." And I said, "Oh my God, what a great bit of news that was." And so while we were working on editing the film and doing sound, all the post-production stuff, that's when Speaking Out sort of happened, and I think it was summertime. And I thought, well, this is perfect, great. I mean, not perfect.
It's not great, but
it's none of it is good, but it's convenient that at least people are becoming aware that this is an issue, and some people were getting massively outed, which was great. And so I went from thinking the film was going to be loved by some, hated by most, to now maybe more well received all around because more people know what's been going on.
Now it's all in the like final stages, right? It's winning awards at festivals, which congratulations, that is great.
Thank you.
And I wanted to ask you to like look back and compare like when you first got this idea versus now when you've already got the product out and it's, you know, it's working, it's great. Were there any like new discoveries that you made in the process? Does it look like you intended it to look, or is it different?
Wow, that's a good question. No one has ever asked me that.
Oh,
great question.
Interviewer props, great.
Well, okay, I'll tell you a few things. The original script, I think, was 32 pages long, and with Maggie's guidance, I chopped it down to 12 pages. So that's 20 pages just out of it. That's just massive.
That's for the director's cut somewhere in the future.
And then the way that she explained it to me is that you make a movie 3 times. You write the script, you film it, and then you edit it. And each time it may change massively a lot. So it changed while we were filming it. We had to adjust some things just for practical reasons, you know, locations or the order of scenes that we shot. And during the editing process, we like changed it so much. We took an entire storyline out of it because it just wasn't. We wanted the film to start and just advance and progress really quickly, and so we decided whatever is not urgently crucial to the main storyline of this short film we're just removing. So I feel bad to some of the actors and voiceover people who are just not in the movie anymore, or just smaller parts. But we had to be economic with time and the story. There was a whole subplot of the main character being offered a contract with a large wrestling company. That's now like this, when it used to be like used to start and end with that. Now that's barely in there. And during post-production, we rewrote some dialogue and some voiceover. I'm going to spoil too much, I think, but we added some pretty harsh graphic content to it. There is no assault depicted in there. It's not a movie where I'm showing people getting attacked or anything, but it's referred to and acknowledged. And it's a little harsh, but you know, we wanted to shake the pot, stir the pot, shake it up.
This question is kind of boring compared to the previous one, but I do have to ask.
No, I said no boring questions. I told you.
But like a big part of the process kind of fell on, you know, the pandemic.
Yeah.
Was it a big challenge? Like, how did you deal with that?
Okay, so in one way it was good, in one way it was bad. The good thing is that we had way more time to really perfect it, coloring, sound, music, exact things, you know, in each scene, timing it, because the film fests were basically put on hold for a year.
Yeah.
So we decided if we would have rushed this, it would have been in film festivals a year earlier, probably right as Speaking Out was happening. But we thought it's a very rare case that we're allowed to have extra time to work on a movie. So we embraced it, and our editor was amazing. We got some very generous offers to use music from this band, Egg Drop Soup from Los Angeles, that I love. And we got 2 songs from them. Very kind of them. And then Downstate, who does a lot of entrance music for WWE and AEW and others, they wrote and produced an original song for the movie.
Oh, cool.
Which I think was so
There's a special
incredible.
shout out for Downstate, because like they have been such a big part of wrestling and for me personally too. So like,
great.
they're
Thank
great.
you, Downstate. Yeah, the song is
Downstate.
called Too Hot, Too Young, and it's so great. I put it on the poster, for the movie poster. I said original music by Egg Drop Soup, or no, music from Egg Drop Soup and an original song by Downstate. Man, great. So many people were, even from the crowdfunding stage, so generous to help out with this in many different ways. What was I answering? Oh yeah, the pandemic. So it was good and bad. And it's in festivals now, and it's only been in a few live ones. The rest are streaming, which is also good and bad. Bad because I want to be at the festivals, and I can't be because they're happening online, but good because everyone around the world can click a link and see the movie, and they don't have to be in the movie theater in whatever city. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So now tell us where people can find information, like where
Sure.
can people check it out?
I post about it a lot on my Twitter account, RaiRaiNemnem, and
Follow him.
that's my Instagram too. And Heel has its own Instagram, Heel Movie. So anytime it wins an award or gets put in a festival, or you can see it somewhere, I always post about it. So if you haven't seen it yet, go find it. Pay the little admission fee. You care about this or not?
Right? Like,
What kind of a person? You get free shows all the time, this kind of stuff. You can pay for something once in a while.
yeah.
Do a little official. We'll do one of these.
And on that wonderful note, thank you so much for
That's
being
it?
here today.
I
yeah.
got all nervous just with those easy questions.
Don't be
Wow.
nervous. Yeah, it's okay. Thank you so much for
Thanks for
making the
having
time.
me. Yeah, sure.
And thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a like if you had a good time. Comment down below if you've already seen the movie. Tell us that you love it. Click the notification bell to never miss an upload. Subscribe. And until next time, goodbye.